Lord, my show never goes right. No matter how hard I try, it never goes right. I am so frustrated. Grand Rising, everybody. Well, today we have a case of a 2-year-old child that was found unconscious, but 24 hours before she was found unconscious, her stepfather changed his name to match that of a fictional serial killer. So we're going to get into that case today. Hello, Miss Dolores. Hello there. How are you? Hey, Teresa. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Lolita. Hey, Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. Hey, Layla. Hey, hey, hey. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday so far. Mine's never go right. But I will be doing Bigo today. I will have Bigo. Cassie has just now been sued by a escort who was mentioned in the Diddy case. And he is now suing Cassie and alleging that she gave him a sexually transmitted disease, as well as some other allegations as well. So we're going to be getting into those documents right after YouTube today on Bigo at around 11 o'clock. So make sure that you definitely tune in. Okay, tune in. Alrighty, guys, let's get into today's story. Alrighty, so this happened on July the 1st, where there was around 9 o'clock in the morning, there was a 911 call from the stepfather of the child. His name he called the officers. His name is Brian Moser, but that is not his original name, okay? And this call came from the Ridge Apartments out there in West Union, Ohio. And he calls the 911 and he says, I believe that she's all the way gone. She's dead. We woke up and found her. That was simple as what he said. And it was a very cold type of phone call. So the paramedics had then arrived and the 2-year-old girl was unresponsive and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Her 2 siblings, which was ages 1 and 5, they were also found to be injured as well. So authorities did confirm that Moser and the children's mother were the only 2 adults that was found at the home at the time. So when they did perform the autopsy, the Montgomery County Coroner's Office did rule that the child had passed away from suffocation. She also had additional physical injuries on her body as well. Her siblings, they also had some injuries, but they were not life-threatening in any manner. But the prosecution office did confirm that they under a review, because at first they were trying to truly discover of how these children passed away. And so the charges, they began to circulate over a few days after the investigation and the autopsy had came forward. So the prosecutor did say that we also are getting statements from other children, and they're trying to figure out what could have possibly happened to cause this child to pass away. Now, many people are wondering, do we believe that this could have been something that was premeditated? Because there were some steps that the stepfather had taken before this child actually was found unconscious. Now, Brian Moser, he is 23 years old, and he did change his name a day before this child had passed away. He was initially charged with child endangerment, involuntary manslaughter, as well as being held on a $500,000 bond. And his court date was yesterday. Now, when it comes to the mother, her name is Tiens Hawkins, and she is 25, and she initially was arrested for child endangerment as well, but she was released, and there was no charges that really was filed for her as of yet. Now, the prosecutor's office did say that she was not able to tie the mother directly to the death, but there is no mistakes in what could have possibly happened. They know that it was some wrongdoing that happened here. Now, when it comes to the records, it did show that Moser, he had legally changed his name from Terry Smith to Brian Moser 1 day before the incident. And if you guys don't know who Brian Moser is, so this comes from a television show that is called Dexter, where Brian Moser is a serial killer who murders his victims by slashing their necks. So what the investigators are trying to see, if this name change has any form of significant value to possibly, it could be more victims, or even if he possibly premeditated this towards this child, okay? Now, authorities do say that they haven't been able to connect his name to any other crimes as of yet. They said that we are still looking into that as of right now, and the case is still developing. And they do not have any evidence that would say that this name change is connected to anything. Now, when it comes to whether or not this family has any form of criminal background, so there was no former criminal, charges from Mosher or Hawkins, who is the mother. And from my understanding, they haven't come forward about any forms of CPS cases either that could have happened prior to this whole entire situation. Okay, so they did work together at a McDonald's out there in West Union. And a neighbor did say that it hurts. And she said that she had the biggest heart. That's what she said about this baby. And the biggest soul and a smile that you can tell that she was very happy. Now, there was another neighbor that says that the child was very sweet and she was loved and she loved to play outside. Now, when it comes to the legal context of this, they're saying that there could be a special grand jury that will be able to determine on whether or not there could be some additional charges that's pinned against these parents. The toxicology results are currently still pending, and the Bureau of Criminal Investigations is still reviewing any evidence that they have so far or evidence that could come forward, okay? Now, when it comes to this case, there's not much. I tried to do some digging to see if there could have possibly been. It sounds premeditated. It does. It sounds very, and when I say that he literally, the day before all of this happened, and it looks like that he is going to be the prime suspect in this. It looks like that the mother, this is something that could have happened unknowingly, or there could have been things that was going on within the household that only she is going to be able to, help the investigators to kind of piece things together, because no one else have come forward to have any form of, input or perspective on this family. And I think that this would be the perfect time for her to speak upon if there was any form of abuse, if there was any red flags that came from this man prior to this child's death or anything like that. I hope that she does that. I really, really do. I hope that she doesn't let love guide her heart and she tries to protect this man, because she is going to be the one that pieced the puzzle together. And unfortunately, I hope also that this is not a situation where this woman put all her trust into this one man. Now, there are children that's in this home and they are considering him a stepfather. I don't know if all of these children are his, as I have been trying to do a little bit of digging. But of course, because there's not really too much social media footprint with them, and there's no other documentations of any form of court cases, of anything, that I will be able to kind of piece dates together and, possibly if there was any DNA or custody battles or anything like that pinned to this family. I really think that if it's not for the mother or maybe a grandmother or someone that possibly were able to identify any red flags with this man or things that was going on in this house, it's going to be kind of difficult, because it's kind of like a dry surface right now. And it's so dry that at first they wasn't even going to give them this whole manslaughter charge of what they ended up giving them. And that took some time. You know what I mean? It's always a stupid man involved. Yeah, a stupid man and a weak woman. It takes that when it comes to kids. And I said what I said. A lot of people are afraid to say it, but I'm not afraid to say it. It takes a weak woman, okay? Because I can look at this man and I would never let him around my children. Okay? Never. And it looks like between these two, something is not good. The elevator is not going all the way to the top and it's kind of stuck at the middle. And unfortunately, there's multiple children that were stuck in the midst of this. Now, the other children were also taken. And the reason why they know that there was some things going on is because they had bruises on them. Okay? They were not life-threatening, but it did show that these children had some form of abuse that was happening within this household. Now, was it at the hands of just the father or the stepfather, or was this woman, the mother, was she playing a role in this abuse as well? Or was she afraid because this is a domestic violence situation and she was afraid to speak up for her children, which we have seen that in multiple different instances when it comes to children's death. They both look like they have issues. They do. They do. And this is one of those cases that I'm going to enjoy getting into. And it's because it's so dead in the beginning. And when I say that, there's not much information that is there. So that means that by the time it comes down for them to dig deep into this, I guarantee you that there's going to be a deeper story to this, whether it be domestic violence, whether it be the things in which when they sit down and talk to these children, because let me tell you something, sometimes children can make and break a case. And I think in this situation, the children are going to make the case, especially if those investigators and therapists sit them children down to ask them exactly what was going on within this household. You know, what was this man like? What was his mother like? What did they partake in? Because when I listened to this 911 call, I'm thinking to myself, he sounds so cold. He had no emotion in his voice. When he called the police, when he stated, and he says, when he calls them, he simply says, I believe that she's all the way gone. He's talking just like this. I believe she's all the way gone. She's dead. We woke up and found her. Simple. No emotions, no tears. And something that really stood out to me is all the way dead. Because that's a very interesting way to describe a child in which you loved. Because at some point in that moment, you're going to want hope that they're not. Of anything, you're going to be begging and pleading for someone to get there fast to get them some help. But to say, I think she's all the way gone. I believe she's all the way gone and she's dead. Simple. ... Pause, because that's what he did. We woke up and found her. Now, keep in mind, the mother is not on this 911 call. You don't hear her screaming in the background. Okay? You don't hear her screaming in the background. You don't hear her crying. All you hear is dead silence and him talking. You would think that the mother would be the one calling the 911, especially after finding your child deceased. You would be hysterical. Kids are very honest. And I am praying that the babies in this situation use their honesty. And I'm sorry, but I still think that the mother needs to be held accountable for something, especially if the other children were found with bruises on them. Because if she found bruises on them, then if the investigators found bruises on them, that lets us know that this has been a long-standing issue within this household of children being abused. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. And she stood by and she watched it happen. Whether she was a part of it or whether she knew that he was doing it or whether she was doing it. At the end of the day, if these are your children, you have a responsibility to protect them at all costs. I'm sorry, but if you're beating on my kid, you're going to have to kill me. If you're abusing my kid, you're going to have to kill me before I sit around and let you do it. That's just how my brain just processes, because you're going to have to beat me to a pulp to stop me from getting my daughter, my family, my children to safety and away from you. You're going to have to. What I'm not going to do is sacrifice my child for my own safety. That's what I'm not going to do. And I do understand that that is a hard decision. Okay, I do. I get that. But it's just, it always frustrates me when there are two people in a household and children are left with no one to trust. With no one to trust, no one to call to, no one to scream for, no one to cry and say, I need help. Because the one person that you should be able to help is putting their love and heart into someone else. Because I'm sorry, the fact that I didn't hear her screaming in the background or crying over the phone or even making the 911 call, you will never be able to convince me that she doesn't have a hand in this somewhere. I'm sorry. Either she knew or she was a part of it, one or the other. We know he was a part of it. And this whole name change thing, I would love to know, did he let her know about this name change and what was the meaning behind it? And of all the names, you choose a fictitious serial killer's name, and then a day after, you kill a child that's in your household? That I think that name change is going to bring us more than what many people are believing. Because for some reason, I feel like that name change has a purpose in it. Now, what that name change is, I don't know. But I would love to know, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does, that there's a reason behind it. There's a focus of it. Because who wants to walk around, even if it's a fictitious name or a real serial killer's name? That's like me changing my name to Jeffrey Dahmer, Aileen Wuornos. What? You would think I've lost my mind if I come live and say, hey guys, I've changed my name to Aileen Wuornos. 9 times out of 10, y'all are going to really think that I've lost my mind. Y'all are really going to be looking at me. I think Savage Royalty needs to check in. I think she's completely lost it. Okay? So I would that name change is very, very suspect. Very, very suspect. And me being someone that thinks very deep in these type of things, I would wonder, did you do stuff like this before? Or like, were you planning something? I would be looking for writings in the house to see if he had some form of manifesto or some form of, you know how sometimes people who are serial killers, they keep things of memory, maybe from previous girlfriends who had children. You know, I would be digging into all those types of things because that doesn't make sense to me. And that is not a coincidence either. Which goes back to, did you guys premeditate this? Because I've covered so many true crime cases, I really look at all parents. When there's a child that is, found unconscious or dies in the custody of a parent and there's 2 parents in the household, I'm looking at both. If it's 1 parent in the household, I'm looking at both. I am 100%. I'm looking at both. Because it just doesn't, you will never be able to convince me that this whole murder came out of nowhere. There had to be something there. Because it's hard for a person to love a child, and unless they're mentally unstable and just wake up and decide to do something crazy. But for you to wake up and decide to suffocate a child is kind of interesting. There was a buildup there. It takes a lot to slowly watch someone suffocate. That's a lot on a person, especially when it's someone that you love. So it's going to be very interesting. It's definitely a story behind the story. It is. It's definitely a story behind this story. Okay. Now, when it comes to this whole background thing, okay, the next steps is in this whole situation is, of course, the grand jury that may lead to these additional charges. And then you also have the toxicology. I would love to know if these children had anything in their systems as well. Could these 2 have some form of drug pass, and maybe the children have ingested something along with the suffocation? We don't know. I also would want to know if these children suffered with any forms of disabilities like autism. We've been seeing that a lot, where children who have autism, their parents lose patience and end up doing something so crazy and strange. So I'm waiting to see those types of things as well, because we are seeing where children who have disabilities and their behaviors may not be of the norm, and many parents find themselves turning to darkness and evil and doing something outrageous. So we're in the very beginning stages. As I said, they did go to court yesterday. The father did, of course. He went to court yesterday. Those charges have went up to manslaughter. But of course, if the toxicology come back or if they continue to do more investigation, he could get more charges. Parents and spouses are the first suspects. Yeah, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow. And, I was just talking about this yesterday, Miss Dolores, because we were talking about a case of a mother who killed her daughter. And I told them, I said, listen, I love y'all adults. And y'all have heard me say this before. If I see you treat your kid wrong, I am telling on you. I'm going to snitch on you. I'm going to tell you that I did it. I'm not going to hide and tell you I did it. If I call them people on you because you in there treating them children wrong, I'm going to tell you I called them people on you. And I will look you smooth in your face and tell you I did it, because we're getting to the point where children are being victimized by adults who can't control themselves emotionally, from adults who cannot, get their vices in order, to adults who cannot get their mental health in order, to adults that lose patience, to adults that don't want to take the responsibility to say, you know what, I had these children, but I'm not equipped to take care of them and hand them over to someone that would. I am no longer able and capable, I'm sorry, to hand over excuses to any parents anymore. The children are currently under attack. Okay. And we are in a system that is so backlogged, whether it be CPS, whether it be the police department, whether it be the justice system, it is so backlogged that children are becoming innocent victims to those that they're supposed to be able to trust. So at some point, we have to be able to realize that the protection of adults and excuses for adults, I don't care who you are, I don't care your age. I am no longer giving excuses to anyone, okay, that have children that do not prioritize their own personal selves in order to prioritize their children. Because you first have to be okay in order for you to take care of a child. And if you cannot be okay, then you as a parent needs to take the responsibility to say, you know what, I cannot do this. I need help. I need therapy. I need to hand these children over or something like that. There are so many parents out here, grandparents or whoever, people who cannot have have children. The Hatrowana that will take your children without a question and raise your children and give your children the life in which they deserve. If you know you can't take care of one, there's no point of you having 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's no point, and there's not that much love in the world. It's just not. You know you can't financially take care of them. You know you are mentally not there. You know you're not even keeping the one that you have in order. So why would you continue to put 2, 3, and 4, 5 kids through the same stuff that the first one done went through, and you ain't doing nothing to make no change? So because I'm continuously seeing this over and over and over again, I can no longer make excuses for adults. I don't care who you are. Mother, father, grandparent, auntie, cousin. If you have a child that is in your area or in your household, under your watch, and you can't do what needs to be done, I'm going to hold you accountable if something happens. I'm going to let you know that you are 100% wrong, and if I have to report you, I will. Because there's too many children that are being brought into this world, and they're only asking for a great life. They're only asking for love. Children don't ask for much. It is parents that makes it difficult, that don't want to take the time to understand patience, that don't want to understand to take the time of mental health and getting their own mental health in order. My daughter's on her 5th child, and I started following you. She had 1. I prayed she signed those papers. Yeah, and you know, and I was saying this yesterday. I said, what I need mothers to do is understand this, okay? I need mothers to understand this. You don't have it all together. Accept it. If you know you don't have it all together, stop letting society think that you must have it all together, because if you don't, you don't. If you don't understand motherhood, if you don't understand womanhood, just be okay with saying, I don't understand, but I'm open to learning it. Because the more that you walk around faking it, it leaves not only your children at liability, but yourself. Be okay with saying that I don't have it all together. That way, when you are transparent in that, people will be able to point you in the direction that you need to get the assistance that you need for yourself and your children. There is no more of keep giving excuses, but it's just too much. Yes, like it's too much. Just because you are with a man and you like a man, it don't mean that you have to have a baby by this man, because ain't nobody going to suffer but the kid. Ain't nobody going to suffer but the baby. If you already know that you're losing your patience with one, why would you have 2, 3, 4 more? If you knew that he wasn't helping you take care of one, why would you get pregnant with 2, 3, 4 more? And that's what we're ending into these situations right here. It's okay to say enough is enough. It's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say, I don't have it all together. It's okay to say, I need help. It's okay to say, please point me in the direction. It's okay to say, can I have resources? It's okay to say that I need support from sisters. It's okay to say that. Stop letting society make you think that as a woman, you must have it 100% together. Because I stand here with you today. As a woman, yes, I'm a woman today. But I promise you, 5-6 years ago, I didn't know what being a woman was. Because it don't start kicking in until you're about 35, 36. I call it my second stage of puberty, when you really start to understand what womanhood is, when you really start to understand goals and expectations, when you start to understand and accept what peace of mind feels like. Those types of things is what you start to realize later on in life. So when you're going through your 19, 20, 21, 25, 30, you still don't even know what it feel like to be a mama. And what it means to be a woman. So what makes you think you're going to be able to realize what it means to be a mama if you haven't even gathered all the tools that you need to be a woman first? You haven't even figured it out. You don't even know. Must be mature. You have to be mature. If you know that you still like to be outside and party, what you having 2, 3, and 4 for? If you can barely find a babysitter for one. If you know you can barely put food on the table for one, what you having 2, 3, and 4 for? If you barely surviving with the one you got? If you know that grandma and auntie and cousin not gonna give you no breaks with one, what make you think they gonna give you a breaks with 2, 3, and 4? It's not gonna change. It's going to be the same. These are the type of things that us as women, we have to accept. Society has us thinking. As women, we must have it all together. We must know it all. We must always be strong. We must always work. We must always walk around as if we have it. Everything is just laid out and ready to go, and it's not. And that's where you end up getting your mental health altered. Your peace is altered, and then your parenting becomes altered, and then your children becomes emotionally scorned, because it's simply a chain reaction of life. When your foundation is not great as a mother, all you are doing is giving a messed up foundation to your children, because I say this all the time. You cannot be a great mother if you have not taken the time to understand being a woman. You haven't. You don't even understand your emotional response. You don't understand how to, process your pain. You don't understand how to process your anger. You don't understand that you cannot react in a physical manner when it comes to frustration. You don't understand prioritizing things. You don't understand a lot of things. So why would you continuously to put yourself with this situation here? This woman has 3 kids. And I guarantee you, with her, her life was not in order before she had all of them. I can look at her and tell. First, learn womanhood first. It's just that simple. And stop letting society think that womanhood looks a certain way. It doesn't. You're going to cry. You're going to be emotional. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to struggle. You're going to be mad sometimes. You're going to you got to learn emotional intelligence. Your body is going to change as you age. You're just going to have to walk into womanhood in a different type of way. The things that I was interested in when I was 20 is disgusting to me today. The men that I thought that I was attracted to in my 20s, they make me vomit today. I promise you. You couldn't tell me that I didn't want me a bad boy when I was 20. Now when I look at thugs, they make me sick. When I see them, it's like, disgusting. I used to like y'all. Oh my God. Ew. Now when I see them. But when my 30s, I have me a nice military nerd. And I wouldn't want nothing else. I wouldn't want nothing else. I have my peace of mind. I ain't got to worry about him going to jail. I ain't got to worry about no drugs. I ain't got to worry about him trying to sell drugs. I ain't got to worry about no drugs in my house. I ain't got to worry about no unregistered weapons around my kids. I ain't got to worry about my child accidentally ingesting something because he want to sell it. I ain't got to worry about people in and out of my door every day. I ain't got to worry about any of that. That's why it's important to be a woman first. Yes, they're disgusting. When I see thugs, it's ill. The moment that I see a man, I used to love when I was younger, he put out stacks of money. Oh my God, you have so much money. Now, the moment that I see you pull out money, ill. 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 That's all you have? Where's your brains? Where are your brains at? I want to know what's in here. I can give a doggone what's in the cash because I guarantee you, you can have $10,000 in your pants pocket right now. But if I asked you to invest that $10,000 and invest it into a business, you will flop badly. You wouldn't even know how to do it. If I told you to take that $10,000 and turn it into $100,000 through stocks and investment and business, you wouldn't know how to do it. If I told you to go put on a nice tuxedo and go walk in a boardroom and discuss a business plan, you wouldn't even know how to do it. So what good is you and that little $10,000 that you just now showed me that you're going to spend on some Jordan, some Louis Vuitton, and Jordan ain't give you nothing, and neither did Louis, and they hurt anyways. Okay, I love my peace, but it took me growth first to understand what peace feels like. I didn't know what peace felt like. When I say the moment that I even sense that you're trying to get in the way of my peace, you can bet your bottom dollar that you will never talk to me again because it feels too good. Peace for me is walking through my garden, having butterflies laying on my locks for no reason, talking to the birds as they chirp, cleaning up my house, cooking a nice little meal. That's what peace looks like. I don't know what y'all think it is, but that's what it looks like. It's very simple in womanhood. Be a woman first. That's all you got to do. Just be a woman first, y'all. Be a woman first. Did I just now take Lolita comment away or did it move it? I'm still learning this little thing here. 10 likes up. Yes, let's get them likes up, y'all. Alrighty, y'all. Tomorrow, don't forget, I am not here. Thursday and Friday, okay? I'm going to say that again. Okay, let me say that one more time.
I am not here Thursday and Friday. Now,
back to the regular schedule programs. Don't come looking for me. Okay. I will not be here Thursday and Friday, guys. All right. Tomorrow we do have a show about this is a more older case, but I wanted to talk about it though, because it was a man that killed his entire family because he was having an affair with another woman. And he was ready to pick up with her and leave and go be with her. But instead, he killed everyone that was in his house. Killed them all. He was sentenced. So we're going to get into his case tomorrow, okay? Why y'all laughing at me? I'm 51 and I'm still trying to get to that point. Let me tell you what it takes, okay? I'm 51 and I'm still trying to get to that point until I learn to stop letting people pull me in different directions. Let me tell you what it's going to take you to do. It's going to take you to understand that everybody can't go with you. I don't care if it's family, friend, or foe. So this is how I did it. I had to accept the fact that you may be my blood and I love you dearly. But if you interrupt my peace, I love you away from me. I love you so much, but I love you out there though. I don't love you on my phone every day. I don't love you next to me. Hey, Janicia, I don't love you right next to me. I love you. I want everything that you want in life to happen for you. Whatever your mind, body, and spirit craves, I want you to have it. I am not here to stop it. You just can't do it over here because you're toxic. So I basically learned how to pick and choose who deserves me, not who I deserve. It's who deserves me first. Because I know that I'm not going to do anything. I've done a lot of growing. I've done a lot of self-loving. I've done a lot of work into myself. I've done a lot of healing. I've done a lot of understanding my triggers and my trauma. And if you haven't taken those steps, then I know that you're going to impact my life in a negative way. And I know that I would never do that to you. That's what it taught me. And so when you start to feel peace, it's like a natural high that no one can take away unless you give it to them, meaning allowing the wrong people around, accepting the wrong things just because they're longtime friends or they're longtime family members and things of that nature. And you knew them since you was a kid. And I just put me first, and that's okay. And I tell people all the time, you're raised. One of the biggest lies that was ever told to you is that you had to love everybody else. But why, when you love yourself, you selfish? Why is it that when you love yourself, you're selfish? But as long as you're draining yourself for people, as long as you're allowing people to put all their worry on you and making yourself available and prioritizing them over you, you are an amazing person. But the moment you do it for yourself, you are a low down, dirty, selfish person, and you are a selfish individual. They're gonna talk about you. She only think about herself, and all she wanna do is go out by herself, and she don't wanna. Yeah, that's why. Why is it like that? Because loving on you is actually more powerful than they want you to believe it is. Because when you start to love on yourself, you start to realize who's for you and who ain't for you. You start to see people for exactly who they are. And it don't be a figment of your imagination, and you don't have to second guess it. It's right there in your face. And because you see it, they don't like that you see it. And you can only see it when you take that time to love on yourself and be able to identify what you're willing to take and what you're not willing to take, the type of characters that you want around you and the type of characters that you don't, the type of activities that you want around you and the type of activities that you don't. And people don't want you to see that because they want to be able to keep the wool over your eyes, to keep you blinded in order to use and abuse you as much as they can. And as long as you let them do it, you are an amazing person. That's just life. You know, sounds like a lot of family members. It is. It's a lot of family members. It's a lot of friends. It is. Why, when you love yourself, you are selfish? I tell y'all all the time, if you want to know who for you, when they ask you for something, say no. If they get mad, leave them alone. Got to be selfish at times. You got to be. You can't just, when you pour into others, you're only draining yourself. That's it. You're draining yourself, which means you're not taking time for you. You're not taking time to love you. You're not taking time to pour into what you need and what you value and what makes you happy. But you walking through the world making everybody else happy, and that goes absolutely crazy. But if you guys haven't done so already, please get I'm trying to get y'all this Royal Lockbox so we can have real life conversations, okay? Get your emails in, okay? I want to at least try to get us a Royal Lockbox. Let me look at this calendar. Because y'all know vacation starts. The shows are going to start slowing up next week, guys. I got a lot of traveling. Got to get my nails done. Got to get some last minute stuff. So things going to get a little sticky. I'm trying to get as many shows in as I can before I get up out of here. And then I'm going to take a break because I got to do some pre-recorded shows. How are you guys liking the shorts, though? Are you liking those? I'm kind of liking shorts, guys. I'm really liking shorts. Okay, so I want to at least try to get us a Saturday show on the 19th. On the 19th. Y'all think we can get some letters in by the 19th? If y'all can get some letters in by the 19th, we can get a Royal Lockbox. If you want to send in a letter, just submit a letter to savageroyaltentertainment@gmail.com. So savageroyaltent@gmail.com, okay? Get your Royal Lockbox letters in. If you don't know what the Royal Lockbox is, it basically gives you a time to vent out whatever you want to vent out. And if you want to remain anonymous, just put lock me in the box savvy. Or if you don't want to remain anonymous, just say unlock the box savvy, okay? And I will let everyone know who you are. We talk about everything: mental health, family, relationships, marriage, whatever it is, self-love, jobs, careers, plans, whatever it is that you want to discuss to kind of get off of you without any judgment, by also getting you some nice, hopeful, advice, then yeah, I'll give it to you. So get those. You love the shorts? Thank you. Get those letters in, okay? Just go to savageroyaltent@gmail.com. Okay. Bigo, I am on my way to you. We're going to get into the Cassie docs. She was just now sued by a male sex worker. Okay. So make sure that you guys tune in. I'll be on Bigo in a few minutes. And thank you guys for watching. And thank you for tuning in to True Crime with Savage Royalty.